Okay, hello everybody. I'm in a wrong computer. um, I don't want green. Let's set this. Okay, that's a little big too. We'll SSH into our machine in a second. And first I want to say, wow, 12 megabytes. See that? 12 megabytes free? No way, Charlie. Sudo su. Good thing I seen that. And say echo 3 and a proc sys VM drop caches. Free 654. That's more like it. Okay. I am gonna stop talking and SSH into our LFS machine, which is SSH root at 192.168.1.1.1.18. And after I get in, I'll show you some more cool stuff. Okay, we're inside, and this is the last tutorial. I had some problems getting my Ethernet card to work, and maybe you ran into these problems too. Hopefully you didn't, but maybe you did. And if you did, there's one more thing I left out that, can I make this full screen without it cutting off everything? Kinda not really. Can I shrink? No, can't shrink it up. Okay. What happened was, with my Ethernet card, as I explained in the last tutorial, I had a dead card, okay? So, besides the things that I changed, I already showed you in the last tutorial, you can also do this. cd sysconfig. Yeah. Okay. In your Etsy sysconfig folder, okay, go to network devices, cd network devices, okay, and I'm not going to be able to full screen this. If you look here, in the book it specifies to make an ifconfig.etho eth0 folder, and the ifconfig.etho folder, and inside of the folder is the IP4 file. Okay, IP4 file holds all your gateway and everything else like that info. The ifconfig.eth0 is what the book says, and I deferred from the book because I don't have a working eth0 network card. I got an eth1 that works. I have two network cards. eth0 is broken, so I have to change and go to eth1, and that means I had to change the name of the file too. So I don't know, maybe if you have the exact same computer and the exact same maybe if you're my twin, maybe that's what you gotta do too. Alright, but if you're not and you have Ethernet, that's good for you. Alright, so you can try that. Now, I'll take you on a little tour browsing with links, but my internet is not working. But I will tell you what I am going to do. I can SSH into my laptop computer, 192.168.1.101, and from my laptop computer I'm going to bounce out onto my Droid hotspot or my phone, and I'll show you how to do that. Right now I'm from my Ubuntu desktop. Actually no, right now I'm in my desktop into my LFS machine which is another computer. Now I'm bouncing out of the LFS machine into my laptop. Okay, so right now we're in my laptop. We can say uname -i -a, and we can see that we're Presario. It's a compact Presario CQ56 notebook PC. Okay, Ubuntu 10.10. It's 10.10 like the other one. It's just x86 64, which is okay. So that's that. Now I'm gonna bounce out. Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking let's draw. This here is Ethernet 0, etho, okay? Connects to my LAN. Alright? But my LAN is broken. Okay? Well, my WAN is broken. Okay? So I can't connect to the internet from my desktop computer, but I can through my laptop. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split connection between my laptop and I'm going to use two sides of a card. I hope you follow me. I'll show you how to do that. Sudo su. Got to be root for this though. Okay. I'm going to use two sides of my Ethernet card. So right now I have config. I have Ethernet, which I'm connected to through a line. I ran an Ethernet cable from my router into my laptop, so I could connect to my laptop from another computer. And at the same time, I'm going to connect from my laptop to my phone, which is the hotspot. Or you could connect to another router in a part of your house that's on a different network. Or if your neighbor is nice enough and wants to let you go ahead and use their internet, and you have 100% permission and they're like your brother or something, you can bounce out and you can be splitting two connections. Okay? I'm going to show you how to do that, because that's what I need to do. Okay. So, basically first, when I start up my computer, it goes to it. It does a lot of stuff, but there's a folder called Etsy in it, which starts programs that are set to start on boot. For instance, the program that's set to control my Ethernet devices, or my internet devices, is set on boot, and that manager that manages those devices is called a network manager. That starts on boot. Network manager is great if for GUI. I don't want to use GUI, I want to use command line, so it's not great for command line. So I need to tell it to stop. Now if I stop all connectivity, that's a good word. If I stop all connectivity from running, I'm going to drop out, and I'm not going to have a SSH, and I'm not going to have a video. So I'm going to stop the network manager because I can't use it with the terminal, and at the same time, or a split second or a millisecond later, or however long access time is on a gigahertz, at the same time I'm going to use another device, another manager that is more terminal friendly, and it's like a generic manager. It's called DH client, and DH client takes a parameter of device. Okay, so like I said, I have an upstart job. Init.d is my upstart folder. The job or the process or the manager is called a network manager. But the network manager does not want me to use the terminal to connect. The network manager doesn't want me to use the terminal to split my wireless. Okay? Doesn't want me to use two devices in the same computer. But I am. Okay? So I gotta tell the network manager to stop and not to drop my SSH connection. So I have to say DH client etho. So basically it's going to drop the upstart default job. Network manager is going to stop, and at the same time, or a split second later, it's going to pick it up again with a more terminal friendly client called etho. That's what that did. Okay, you can see here that since the script is stop utility network manager, okay, blah blah blah, that's down. Split second later, DH client picked it back up. Okay, now I can use DH client. DH client rocks for me right now. Okay, I can use DH client, so we're good. Clear this up and you'll see that our internet has changed. We still have it ETH0 because of we picked it back up with the DH client, and we have our loopback. Doesn't count. Now we still aren't out to the internet because our internet interface is down. Our YLNO card is down. Now, in order for us to use our YLNO card, we have to know authentication with the access point and everything else like that. My access point is set to WPA. WPA 2 key, which stands for wired protected. I don't know what it is. WPA 2. Hard crack, okay? That's what it is. It's hard to crack. DH client has a problem because DH client cannot connect to WPA 2 keys. And that's the key I have. DH client can connect to WEP keys, which is wire equivalent protection. Okay, that's a older form of authentication. Okay, WPA2 is a newer form. So DH client can't connect to WPA2 keys because it's quote too new. Not really, but it's, let's call it too new. Okay, so there's a way to make DH client connect to WPA2 keys, and show you now. LFS out. CD LFS. Okay. Move this. That's a failed tutorial right there. Alright. So, in order for us to connect to a WPA2 key from with a DH client, we're going to have to make a WPA passphrase config file. Okay, and the way you do that is you type in WPA passphrase, and it takes two parameters: ESSID, which is your base station ID, and it takes your password. Okay, the base station I'm using, or the access point I'm using, is test. That's the name of it, and the passphrase for that is HHH666 GGG EFGH. I don't know if it's GGG HHH. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay? So that's that. So a WPA passphrase generated this. It says that our SSID is test, or our name of our access point is test, and the PSK, or authentication, the password, is that, and this is the long string of crazy jumbled up stuff that's going to get passed to the access point to authenticate. Great. However, remember, DH client needs a file to use. So we didn't put that in a file, we just made it happen. In order for us to put that in a file, we'll tee it off, and we'll say into this .config. Okay. Okay. And let's move that because that'll probably do nothing. Just out of superstition. Let's move it to its regular proper name. It doesn't have to be this .config. It can be my router .config. Doesn't matter. In fact, let's move it my this .config to my router.config. My route. There you go. Okay. Now that that's done, we have to use program or use WPA supplicant. Type this out one more time. Supplicant. That's not a ditto. That's how it's supposed to be. And that says that you want to use the driver, wireless extension driver. Okay. Man, I gotta move this over. Okay. Interface, or -I for interface. What interface? WILAN O. WILAN 0, because that's the card I want to use inside my laptop. And the C for config file, which is my router, my route.config. Okay. There we go. Okay. And optional, you can use the optional B switch. B is to background it, so it doesn't, if you didn't background it, it would be all over your screen and you'd have to open up another terminal so you could use the terminal. Okay, so that's that. Now we have that set. Our wireless card is automatic. Well, our wireless card is up. If you need to down it when you do that. Okay, I think mine got back up. I think that's okay, but you should down your wireless card whenever you work on it. It won't, I don't think it'll harm it. You just won't be able to get the results you expect. So now I'm going to say DH client WILAN O. Now that I have a config file and I set it up right and I set the password and authentication and everything into it, I can connect to the internet with a WPA2 key through DH client. Okay, total terminal. Super. Now www.google.com. We're on Google, we're on Lynx. Now I installed Lynx on my BLFS machine, and I'll show you. There's a shortcut to Lynx. You can say S on the keyboard will bring up your bookmarks. Okay, and we'll go to Beyond Linux from Scratch. If you haven't gotten Beyond Linux from Scratch the book, you gotta get it. You gotta get it. It's like what to do after you build your Linux from scratch. What to do after that? Well, go to Beyond Linux from Scratch and it tells you everything. Not everything, but it shows you all your package lists and all these add-ons you can get. ISO codes, libUSB. You can get CompFace, BC. Oh, I do need BC. Maybe I'll show you how to put BC on. BC is a basic calculator. I need it. So I'm going to download it right now. Let's go to it, click on it, save, tar-gz, and it's saving right now. You can hit the escape key and go over here and see downloads. That was so fast, and it was just bang, done. Okay. You can go and say, let me say, HTML tiny. I don't know what that is. Let's see, graphics. Let's keep going. GCC, where they got that NASM. Alright, if you want to be a bytehead, get it. Alright, BLFS 6.2, you got to get it. You got to get it. Because it doesn't stop when you build it. You know, when you get it up and running, the kernel's stable, it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. Alright. Lynx with an I. That's what I'm using now. I like Lynx with an I. On the BLFS site, if you notice, at the bottom, when you go to click on links with an I, not with a Y, not Yankee, but Indigo, okay? When you go to click on that one, it redirects you to the links with a Y. And I don't like links with a Y. I'll show you in a minute. The problem, I just don't like it. And I can't get links with an I. I could not get links with an I from this site. I got mine from like Argentina, okay? And some site down there had it, okay, and it's great. OpenSSH. That's gonna be your SSH machine, okay? It's in BLFS. You gotta get it. VSFTP, which is secure FTP. Alright, actually, if you had OpenSSH, you're gonna have secure FTP anyway. But rsync, it's all. It's not all. It's here. Alright? Not all here. XFCE, all your window managers down here. Alright? That goes on forever. Now, BLFS, unlike other distros, you have Ubuntu, has the apt-get manager. What is that? Nautilus, I think. Okay. Debian has Nautilus. Alright. Who's Pacman? Pacman is like Arch Linux, I think. Alright, Gentoo's got Portage. Okay, all the repositories is what I want to say. With LFS, you're not really limited to a repository. And if you notice, we don't have a repository. This is kind of like a repository, but it's not really a repository. Okay? The good thing about LFS is that you don't, if you can't find a package here, for instance, I could not find OpenSSH. Okay, yeah, it's viewed, right? It says it's here, but when I go to click on it, I'll show you what happens. If I can get there. Oh, by the way, try this out. The /, if you say change directory, you know the /. The /, it's actually, it brings up a search for text pane and links. That's why I like links. And if I type in open SSH and go down to OK, hit enter, it's going to show me where open SSH is. Done. Like it. Gotta love it. Although open SSH, when I typed that in, it just gave me something completely bizarre somewhere else. S for bookmarks, beyond Linux from scratch. I'll start up at the top. Search for open SSH. Here it is. Okay, open SSH. Now, there's kind of no difference. I hope you follow me, and I figured this out on the other machine. There's no difference between the client and the server. The client allows you to get connections from different machines. No, I'm lying to you. The client allows you to connect to another machine. So for instance, if I had a SSH server on my laptop and I wanted to connect to my laptop from my desktop, I could do that if I had the client and my laptop had the server. But I could not connect to my desktop from my laptop because I don't have a server on my LFS machine. That makes sense? You need a client and you need a server in order for you to make a full, not a full connection, but to connect to either or. Okay? If you only have the client, you can only connect to another computer. Nobody can connect to you. Okay? But if you have the server, they can connect to you, and if you have the client, you can connect to other people. Okay? So when you see it says LFS or Open SSH server or client, when you see client, you can only take you can only give outgoing connections and you cannot take incoming connections. But that's a lie, because with OpenSSH, the only thing that makes you a client or a server is a config file. And I took the config file from my Ubuntu machine. I'll show you where it's at in a second. I took that config file and I copied it and I put it on my LFS machine, and I